Well, good morning, guys. So today I am in my shop, actually pretty early in the morning. It's 5 o'clock, and my workshop. So I'm looking at my miter saw and I'm thinking, I think I'll try drawing that. So we're starting with putting our reference disappearing point, because we'll do this in perspective. So that little dot there in the upper right, and I'm just extending some lines here. Now the point on the left side is off the page, so I'm just kind of guessing as far as the lines. Anyway, so we're going to start with the motor, and it's basically a cylinder. So it's got 4 axes. The short axis is pointing to the right, point there on the right, and I'm just extending the sides of the cylinder. So because of perspective, the motor obviously is circular if you look at it face on, but because we're doing this perspective, that circle becomes an oval. So anyway, I'm just roughing out the general shapes of the miter saw, and here we are doing another oval. You can see the short axis of this oval pointing to the left reference point. Okay, so I'm drawing the guard here. I probably should be drawing these lines a little lighter until I know for sure that that's really where I want it. But heck, what the heck, this is just a sketch. So up here is going to be the DeWalt logo. So I'm just writing down the letters just so I know that it'll fit before I finalize that. Got the handle here, the top of the handle. The line will follow the perspective lines going to the right. And I'm drawing some of the general details here to begin with. And here we've got the support bracket, and again here's that oval, and it has the short axis has to point over to the right, just to follow the perspective. Okay, I'm drawing some more detail here. Alright, here's the support for the whole thing that's attached to the base underneath, and it's kind of curved. So again, now this part here again is a cylinder, and you can see how I drew an oval there, and the handle has 3 hands to it that radiates from the center. And again I drew an oval just so I know how far those handles parts will go out. And here I'm starting to draw the fence. Okay, looking back at my reference here, I think that I drew that a little too high. Okay, I'm extending the line to the right where the handle for the table is gonna go. Anyway, so I'm doing the fence again. These lines that are vertical, these lines are actually vertical, although it looks as if I'm drawing it slanted, but it's just the angle of the camera. Here I'm roughing out the table, and the table where the wood sits is again circular. So here I'm drawing another oval, foreshortened, meaning instead of a circle, it, depending on how you look at it, it flattens out to an oval. That's what foreshortening basically means. Right, so continuing on with roughing the shapes here. Alright, so here I'm going ahead and getting started with some shaving. I need to shave, but anyway, I need to start shading, and I generally try to get the shadow areas first, like right here. And with the cylinder, I usually just use some change in pressure, lighten up the pressure on the pencil as I try to get the lighter shades in. Here I've got the light mostly coming from the left, so the parts of the miter saw that are on the right will generally be a little bit darker, like here. And you got a shadow right there coming off the motor. And as I put in the shading, I will add more detail. If there's a detail, I'll draw that in first and then start shading around it. Here I'm just doing some quick lines, again varying the pressure, but I'll also do crosshatch. Here I'm switching over to my other pencil, which has a softer lead in it, just to get a little bit darker. Okay, so anyway, going back to crosshatching, I'll crosshatch. So the more cross-hatching different direction lines you add, the darker it'll be. And sometimes I'll use a blender made out of paper to soften up the shading and make the lines disappear a bit. Alright, getting to the logo of DeWalt, which is actually in white, so the background here I'm going ahead and darkening, and so I have to actually outline the letters. There's a couple of straight lines above and below the logo, so here I am outlining the letters now. And just keep working on shading throughout the drawing here. Alright, I'm working on the base here. You can see how I've added some details on the blade. And those are just suggestions, obviously. There's a lot of writing on the blade itself. But if you squint at it, it looks like just a rectangle. So I just shaded the letters in. Alright, shading the tabletop here where the wood sits. Adding some more detail. And I'm just suggesting some of the detail. I'm not making this an exact drawing. This isn't really a technical drawing per se. This is really just a rough sketch. And again, I get a little antsy and impatient. I just want to get these drawings done, and so I kind of rush a bit, especially towards the end of a drawing. But that's just how it is. And then I'll usually go back and refine some things depending on my mood. So again, this side of the tool is in shadow, so I'll go ahead and shade those in, and just add a couple of details here and there, little suggestions. And that'll make the drawing look like it's more detailed than it is. Here, switching to the soft lead again, because that part is black. And that's pretty much it. Just a quick drawing, quick sketch of one of my tools in my shop, my trusty DeWalt 12-inch sliding miter saw. I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned a couple things here with shading, or at least how I do it. And everyone has a different style, and this just happens to be my style. Have fun with it. Please like, subscribe, enjoy, and all that. And have a great day. See you at the next video.